What is an indirect citation? Great question. An indirect citation cites content that was originally reported in another source which you have not read. In this example, Motadel and Drayton wrote an article about material conditions and ideas in global history. On page 29, we find Motadel and Drayton used a direct quote from author Piketty. In the next sentence, a paraphrase of author Popper's opinion on the subject. So let's discuss how to use Piketty's quote or Popper's paraphrase in your work. Can you cite Piketty or Popper? The best practice is to find the original source, the works written by Piketty or Popper. Read them to make sure that their ideas have not been misrepresented by Motadel and Drayton, and then cite Piketty or Popper in your paper. If you have trouble finding Piketty's article or the source of Popper's paraphrase, ask for help from the librarian. Should you cite Piketty or Popper? If you and the librarian cannot find the sources by Piketty or Popper, then you can use an indirect citation in your paper. Keep in mind that you need to indicate you are using Piketty's or Popper's ideas, but only as they are represented by Motadel and Drayton. So how do you cite Piketty or Popper? Let's discuss indirect citations in your work and references using APA or MLA or Chicago Author Date or Chicago Note-Bibliography style. Using APA Style 7th edition and the Piketty quote from the Motadel and Drayton article, the citation reads Piketty 2019 as cited in Motadel and Drayton 2021. Using Popper's paraphrase, the citation reads Popper 1945 as cited in Motadel and Drayton 2021. If a page number cannot be found, it is best to cite only the author's name and year of publication. If you're citing Piketty or Popper, your reference would be the article by Motadel and Drayton because that is the article you have read. Using MLA Style 9th edition and the Piketty quote from the Motadel and Drayton article, the citation reads Piketty 2019, the quote, then quoted in Motadel and Drayton 29. Using Popper's paraphrase, the citation reads Popper 1945, the paraphrase, then quoted in Motadel and Drayton 29. If you were unable to locate the work of Piketty's quote, or for the source of Popper's paraphrase, then you cite the source you read, Motadel and Drayton. Using Chicago Manual Author Date System 17th edition and the Piketty quote from the Motadel and Drayton article, the in-text citation reads Piketty 2019, the quote, then as cited in Motadel and Drayton 2021-29. Using Popper's paraphrase, the citation reads Popper 1945, the paraphrase, then as cited in Motadel and Drayton 2021-29. If you were unable to locate the source of Piketty's quote, then you cite both Piketty and Motadel and Drayton. The citation of Piketty's work is cited first, then the phrase quoted in, and then list Motadel and Drayton's article citation. Using Popper's paraphrase, the citation starts with Popper's work cited, then the phrase quoted in, then Motadel and Drayton's article citation. Using Chicago-style Note-Bibliography System 17th edition and the Piketty quote from the Motadel and Drayton article, the citation is placed in the Notes section of your paper. You would cite Piketty, then the phrase quoted in, then Motadel and Drayton. The same goes for Popper's paraphrase. Cite Popper's work first, then the term cited in, and then Motadel and Drayton's article. The first note of an author is considered a full reference. Subsequent notes can use short-form notation. Short-form notation uses only author last names, page numbers, and shortened article titles. If you were unable to locate the source of Piketty's quote or Popper's paraphrase, then you cite only the article that you read, Motadel and Drayton, in your bibliography. If you have any questions about these or other kinds of citation styles, please ask the librarian.